What is up, everybody? Welcome in the See the Floor podcast. You're here with the guys, the bros. It's your boy, K. Malone.
Ryan Wilson.
Got a good episode for y'all today. Ready, brother?
Let's get it.
Welcome in, everybody. See the Floor podcast. Your boy, K. Malone.
Ryan Wilson.
Man, appreciate all the YouTube watchers, Spotify listeners, Apple Podcast listeners, Facebook, whatever.
Anybody and everybody keeping up with us, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Man, today's episode, more basketball talk. A lot of topics. Sometimes we gotta talk about basketball. You know what I'm saying? But, man, we're in a transition period. Like, the guard is changing as an old additive I used to hear a lot. So, kind of really big news is Coach K. Coach K is really like the GOAT of GOAT. I mean, you can hate Duke, but you can't hate on Coach K's resume.
You got to respect it. Yeah. What is it, 43, 44 seasons?
Yeah, 5 national championships.
41 of them with Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impeccable credentials.
Yeah, 3 Olympic gold medals, 50 plus first-round draft picks. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, so he's going to step down and retire after this next season. Jon Scheyer, who was a great point guard, combo guard for Duke, is now the coach in waiting for the 2022-23 season. And it's going to look different.
That it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Me personally, I was kind of like hoping for like a Grant Hill or something.
Kind of how North Carolina did that's was shocking news to me as well, that Roy Williams, that both of the 2 of the pinnacle programs in the country, their head coaches decided that, enough's enough, let a new guy step in. But, yeah, I mean, UNC went with a Herbert Davis.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think Duke did what they thought was best in terms of keeping it in the family. They did reach out to Tommy Amaker, who played at Duke, that was at Harvard. I think Johnny Dawkins had the school he's at, Central Florida, have a better run over the past couple of years. He would have got a chance to interview. But I don't know if Grant Hill expressed any interest in coaching. I think he's had fun being a commentator.
Well, yeah, I get that. But I'm just saying, I feel like there's like some, I don't know, I guess some newer blood that we should.
I mean, I think the 2 people that were the
Jason.
Jay Williams.
Yeah.
I think Nolan Smith and Jon Scheyer were the 2 that, because Nate James decided to take the Austin Peay job, and he's been an assistant with Coach K. So I think, obviously, all the assistants would have had equal opportunity to interview and kind of get it. But I think Jon Scheyer, being a full-time assistant coach, Coach K already, has that leg up on Nolan Smith, with Nolan, on retiring from the NBA, 5 seasons ago, and just now kind of, getting in.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to be different. It is going to be so different not seeing just, especially those 2 come across the court, for, the Duke and North Carolina rivalry game, those 2 older pinnacle coaches shaking hands.
Yeah.
So that leaves Calipari at Kentucky. Obviously, I mean, I think he's still going to have his run. I mean, it's different, Bill Self is still at Kansas.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to wonder, like, how long, speaking about Calipari, how long can the one and done go on? Because I feel like that kind of contributes to Coach K.
Yeah, he was definitely ready to move on from that aspect.
So it's just like, how long can you keep it going?
I think
because they're already starting to.
Yeah, because the expectation to win at Kentucky is high.
Yeah.
I think part of it is I think people have embraced the kids they've gotten and realized that. It's a different type of time and era, and it's hard to build when you get those guys. You look at the last group that he had that was really good when they got to the Final Four. When you bring in 7 of those guys between Devin Booker, Karl-Anthony Towns, Tyler Ulis, the Harrison twins, I mean, they had an immense amount of talent.
Right.
And then you look at the group that came back, where Ulis and the other guys come in. I mean, you just try to win with what you can. And I personally think, because you start to see some of the best players choose to go this G League and overseas international route, as you start to get guys, ranking 10 and below, all those guys don't pan out to be one and done. So I think you may start to see some of the blue blood teams have more longevity with their players and not just entering the draft.
Yeah.
And you see like Kentucky this year, they had guys transfer. And I think that's the one thing with Coach K. You never saw up until the last couple of years that dudes just transfer out of Duke. Because one, they don't give out full 13 full athletic scholarships because you have to be able to get into Duke.
Right.
And then a full athletic scholarship to Duke is worth more than $60,000, $70,000.
Right.
I mean, in terms of just when you're talking about just room and board. So you have to be prepared for that. And it's different. So seeing guys transfer out, you're like, whoa, like you're not gonna wait your time and, be a dookie. So
Yeah.
Classic.
So transferring to the big boys.
The big boys, I mean, you kind of talk about now, like, and let's be honest, I mean, there's, 2 or 3 coaches in the NBA that are, like, staple coaches that probably casual basketball fans all know. I'm sure everybody's very familiar with Greg Popovich. The Spurs dynasty is legendary. Timmy D and Tony Parker and Manu. Those guys are gonna, and David Robinson, that's going to live on forever. But let's be honest, Greg.
Pop, it just ain't the same, Pop.
Yeah,
It's just not the same, unfortunately.
Yeah, Now, do I think he's going to retire from the NBA? No, because of the fact that he is USA Basketball's head coach.
Oh, you talking about this year?
I mean,
I think it's coming.
But here's the thing, though. So then I think he would like to still keep coaching Team USA. I don't know if you only coach just then because you only have an Olympic team every 4 years and then a world championship every 3rd year. So that's the only time you're going to coach?
He might not get that gig no more. I think that's something he could live with, though, with his resume.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely
he's going to go down as the first ballot Hall of Fame coach. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not even up for discussion. But that's just the changing of the guard. I mean, there is no more Phil Jackson. There are no Larry Browns. There is no Chuck Daly's. I mean, the next, to me, big-time coach that's had a longevity is like Rick Carlisle with the Mavericks.
Well, speaking about the more established coaches, what about the new coaches that are fading, such as Boston?
Yeah, Brad Stevens. That's very surprising to see somebody as young as him come from college, coach at Butler, to where now I can respect the fact that he made a move to the front office.
Well, I was going to say that. How do you feel about that transition he's making?
I think it's smart. If you don't think that you can relate or get a group as talented as they look on paper to play that way, you may be more effective making the chess moves. And shout out to Danny Ainge, is like, I've made a lot of these moves that hasn't resulted in the championship. Let me give somebody else a chance, and kind of let them take, the brunt of whatever, media strife that you get and any blame. And, Brad Stevens is like, I've been the coach. I've taken the blame as a coach. I'm sure I can handle taking the blame as the personnel person, kind of putting the roster together when, he's seen what it's like to coach them.
Yeah. So you think that's the conversation behind closed doors? Is that I've done all I can do in this position and I've done all I can do in this position?
You would think, I'm sure there's many things that go on behind closed doors in that high level of environment that we would be shocked to hear. But, I mean, you really gotta, it's funny. I had a conversation with somebody off air about, how do you deal with those kind of things when you're just given a team and you got to say, okay, you got to coach this team. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you really got to go with it and you got to adapt. But sometimes some people are only fit to coach certain ways. And I think that's why we see people move around. They don't have as much success because they're built to coach one way in one type of team and they built so much success in one place. You get comfortable doing that. And I can relate that to life. I think we're all guilty of it. We all get comfortable and we all get set in a way of how to do whatever we do well, and we're tasked to do it differently or somewhere else. We don't have the same kind of effect.
Yeah. So here's an even better question. So he came from college, the collegiate level. Does he use that same mindset or that same method when he's, as he did, recruiting high school kids, or
Man,
does that transfer over? Do you change your whole mindset?
I don't know. It's tough. You look at like a Billy Donovan. He had an opportunity to coach the Orlando Magic, decided, okay, I'm going to go back and coach and stay at University of Florida. Obviously, he left. He was given a Thunder team. He was given a Thunder team at one point still with, was KD still there when he got there? Or KD already gone?
He was gone.
So he was still given a team with Westbrook and some other. I think he might.
He might have been there.
Yeah. I think he was given that team is still with Scott Brooks. And you see, the Thunder made a little bit of push. Obviously, they had the time of Westbrook and Oladipo, and then you have Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo. That didn't really work out.
Actually, I think he wasn't there. I think that was when Paul George was there.
Okay. And then now it's in Chicago, where we'll see how it goes. But Chicago took another former college coach, Fred Hoiberg. Terrible. Chicago, don't ever do that again. At least Billy Donovan's respected, and don't. I think a lot of college coaches struggle unless at first they're given a young team, because is maybe someone like Billy Donovan because he coaches with Team USA and those guys have a relationship, but there's got to be some factor there, in the fact that he had a brief NBA stint. There's got to be some factor there that relates. Like, for example, you think Calipari could do well in the NBA?
I don't know. Because, we've never seen him. Like, we've seen him coach at that level as far as the Olympic team, but at that point, you just let him go.
I think he would do okay because I think he's so used to having guys that have that persona already, that I'm an NBA player, I'm not a college player. And the fact that he lets them kind of play a more open freestyle that looks like the NBA, I think he'd be fine. And I think a lot of guys respect him because of his relationship. He's never held anybody back. Like, if it's your time to go, it's your time to go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't think of it as that in that aspect. I guess I'm thinking of it as style of play, like you said. Because the NBA is a different style of play. So I guess you have to ask yourself, are you going to be able to adjust?
Yeah, and that's, to go to your original thing about Brad Stevens moving in the front office. I think you got to make decisions based on just like what's in front of you. I don't even know if you can take it from a recruiting and a talent standpoint. I think you can just say, look, this is the, what, not just pinpointing the Celtics, but this is our organization. This is what we have to offer. This is what the team is like constructed, and this is the kind of moves we're trying to make. Hopefully people respect him coming from his resume overall and just say, okay, I'm going to sign up for it.
That's what I worry about. Like, he ain't been in there long enough.
7 years not long?
No, it's not. Compared to others before, it's not a long time.
Yeah, it's different. And then it's different across the board. Like, even, let's take now the landscape of just basketball in terms of players. To my golden era, you got lucky that you're in a little bit of split in between. Like, there's nobody left. We had the Hall of Fame, ceremony a month ago. KG, Tim Duncan, rest in heaven, Kobe Bryant. Like, those guys are not there anymore.
They're not.
There is. I look at going into next year, like Paul Pierce and Ray Allen are probably going to move into that. Like Jason Kidd, like Steve Nash, like D Wade is going to be up in 2023, and so is Dirk, and so is Tony Parker. Like, my golden era is done.
Yeah.
It is a sad, sad thing. I remember getting my NBA Live in 2K to play with these players.
Yeah, I think of it as kind of like when I grew up. Once I became of age, that was the end of the Bulls and Jordan. So I think of it kind of the same way. At that time, it was transferring to the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. So, that's the period you're in right now.
Yeah, I know, and it's sad. When you see it then, you don't really think about the end of the Lakers era, because then walks in LeBron James, walks in Carmelo Anthony, walks in Chris Bosh, walks in Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook, and the league just kept going and took off.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm going to regret saying this, but like you said, walks in LeBron, Carmelo, KD, there still hasn't been teams like Lakers, Bulls.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm gonna regret that because people are gonna be like, "Oh, thank you for giving LeBron his respect, whatever."
Okay. Obviously, LeBron's Miami team, you can say, I wouldn't call them a dynasty. They're not a dynasty. They won 2 championships. That's not a dynasty. They did have 4 stretches. They went to the finals 4 straight times. But do you define that as a dynasty?
No.
I would define them as an iconic team.
Yeah.
I think we'll always remember the Heatles, as they're referred to. LeBron and them likes to, it's epic.
Yeah.
I think the Lakers, you say that you say it's a dynasty because of Kobe Bryant having multiple stretches. We can debate this all, whatever. It doesn't matter. Kobe Bryant was a part of a three-peat and then a back-to-back. Mm-hmm. So, and he stayed with one team his whole career. Kobe Bryant defines being part of a franchise that had 2 different periods of a dynasty because they were dominant in different ways. And it's not that the team with him and Lamar Odom and Pau Gasol and Bynum and them were just dominant, but the fact that they were just a great team, solid, and they found a way to win multiple years. And then they ran into another team, Boston, who, legacy-wise, franchise-wise, Boston won 1. That's not a dynasty, but it's an iconic team. When you look at they kind of introduced the first big 3.
Yeah.
Say Kobe and them don't have to see them. That's 3 championships for Kobe then. Yeah. So to me, that defines a dynasty. And then, we talked about San Antonio. That's a dynasty. I'm sorry.
Definitely is.
So you say what you want.
They've been, kind of off the ship for a while, but
boy,
you can't knock their resume.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna say this: the Golden State Warriors is a dynasty.
Ooh,
okay,
that's what I was gonna get at. I was gonna say, do you compare Miami to Golden State? I can't give them the dynasty.
How many they won? 2 or 3? 16, 15, 16.
I want to say 3.
17, 18. 18. Yeah.
I can't give them the dynasty yet.
People, tap in with us. Tell us what you think. Are the Golden State Warriors a dynasty?
Comment below and let us know. Is or are they not?
Yeah, because I want to know.
Yeah.
But one of the other things that I think is funny when you sit there and talk basketball, people, whatever, the amount of people that and I'm in a weird space because I coach and I have these younger kids. They don't know who certain players are. When the whole enshrinement thing, talking about Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh is from Dallas. I said something to one of the kids or whatever because they had like a LeBron jersey on and the Heat jersey on. And then, I was like, oh, yeah, LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh or whatever. And then one of the kids is like, Chris Bosh is like the guy that looks like a Raptor. And I said, oh, my goodness. I said, do you know who Chris Bosh, do you know he's from Dallas? It was like, Chris Bosh is from Dallas? Yeah. It was like, was he good? What do you mean was he good? I said, are these kids, are they that far removed from knowing LeBron and D-Wade and Chris Bosh together, I third grade, maybe below?
Well, I think it speaks to just the generation. I feel like the players or athletes now have different motive. Back years ago, we studied the game. We had a legitimate passion for the game of basketball. Nowadays, people do it for the fame.
Yeah.
For the fame, for the money, regardless.
Yeah.
Popularity. So they pay attention to those popular players, the players that are being thrown in front of them. True. That's all they know about.
Yeah, because I vaguely remember, I think I had a kid, we were talking about dunking or something, and I said something about Vince Carter, and they said, the old guy that wears the headband that plays on Atlanta Hawks with Trey Young? I said,
see?
Boy,
that's
what?
all they know.
I said, all these dunks that you see now, Vince Carter was doing them and everybody was trying to be like Vince. And they said, what? I literally had to pull up my phone and show this kid a highlight. And he said, oh, okay. I said, oh my dear gosh.
It's a sad, sad day.
Yes. Seeing these kids and all they know is Stephen Curry and threes is quite sad.
But the game's changing.
Yeah.
Which is what this episode is about.
I know, for example, I think my favorite all-time player at some point is going to become extinct, and like no one's gonna know him. And then because of the period, like
You talking about Melo?
yes, and there's kids that literally know Melo as, oh, he's the dude that like wasn't in the league and came back and like nobody wanted him.
I refuse to believe that. People have to know Carmelo's origin.
There's some kids,
know his track
but think
record.
about it. There's some kids and probably maybe young teenagers that don't realize like the Carmelo Anthony and like the Denver Nuggets. Trust me, there's some kids that have no idea that are probably huge basketball fans and have no idea. It's that bad.
But are these basketball players?
Yeah, like kids that play basketball.
Some of the kids you deal with, no offense.
Okay, sorry y'all. I love y'all. Some of y'all just like basketball.
Right.
Some of y'all are there because your parents make you play.
Right. So there's a different, there's a different player. There's a different child. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But these are like legitimate.
There's a few that really play basketball, really like basketball, and know a lot of NBA players and watch a lot of people's games that don't know certain like guys.
That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in you as a coach.
Wow, I'm trying, okay? But think about it, like think about some of our favorite like college players that like no one knows. Like,
Yeah.
there's people out there that have no idea that would watch a broadcast on ESPN that Jay Williams is a top 25 all-time college player.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's people that have no. There's probably kids now that have no idea who Christian Laettner is.
What's my boy from KU? Point guard.
Sharon Collins. Yes, all-time great college player. No one probably has. There's probably kids walking around 16, 17 years old have no idea who that is.
Stupid game.
That's crazy.
Come on, guys. We got to get it together.
Can I go back to my other one now? Think about it. I may not like him, and he may not have been a great NBA player. No, some people don't know who Christian Laettner is. Some people don't know about the shot.
Yeah, that's sad. You know how before the AU tournaments where you have the college class?
Yes.
They need to hold a class.
Man, so let me give y'all a quick story. Like, y'all might enjoy this. So, if for any of y'all that ever played like summer basketball within any point of 2000 to 2010, when you go to your tournament in Vegas or whatever tournament where college coaches are at, they're going to make you go to this classroom and you have to watch an NCAA recruiting video, and it tells you about agents, runners, and you just see the highlights of all the players in the NCAA, what a scholarship is, all those things. If you weren't a part of that era, you missed out.
You did. They need to bring that back.
Because you sat down with the other teams that came in, you got your T-shirt, you watched the video, you goofed off, but you saw everything that you envisioned of having, of playing in the NCAA tournament, signing that agent, going to the NBA, all of that. That was a classic video.
So they don't do that anymore?
No, they don't do that no more.
That's sad. They need to bring that back and add a financial literacy class.
True. But it's different. Like, just the sports landscape is changing. And I feel like the way that it is in basketball, it's not the same as it is anywhere. Like, just the longevity in football.
Yeah.
There's kids that are little itty bitty kids that probably never saw, don't even know what Tom Brady's first Super Bowl looks like, but they see Tom Brady with the Buccaneers and like Brady's the GOAT. And you ain't watched a lick of him play with the New England Patriots.
That's disrespectful.
Yes. Like, some kids don't even know, like, Aaron Rodgers had to sit behind Brett Favre. They probably don't even know who Brett Favre is.
And that's really sad.
I'm saying.
Troy Aikman.
Oh, your kids see,
They definitely don't know Troy Aikman.
Especially,
it's Romo this, Romo that.
Yes.
Which is sad.
Very sad. And, like, especially kids, we live in the Dallas area, they see Troy Aikman on the TV doing the games. They're like, oh, okay, there's this guy.
He's
like,
a commentator.
Yeah, like, boy, you talk about Cowboy, that's the quarterback, him and Staubach, the GOAT.
Yeah.
Some kids won't even know who Emmitt Smith is. You could be rocking an Emmitt Smith jersey and be like, who is that? It's sad.
It's unbelievable.
Parents, he talking about me. Parents, I blame you. I blame you. Educate
Parents,
your
if
kids.
you're watching, get your life together. Get your kids together. Sit them down. If you got to throw them, I know you let them eat at the table with their iPad. Make them do some research on a player every night.
Yes, it'll be beneficial for you.
Homework assignment.
One of the things that I wish that we could really have, man, we got a Michael Jordan, 10-part documentary series. Like each year, ESPN come out with something.
Yeah.
Be great. Do one on the Cowboys. Do it on, I think there was a 30 for 30 on the Rams, like the, greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
So maybe some football kids know who Marshall Faulk and Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce and Kurt Warner are. Like, I think we should do a full Lakers. I know we had 30 for 30, but do it from everything.
Yeah.
I would love it. It would be great. It would be educational. So don't let my era die. I had to come on and talk about this today.
Question of the hour.
Okay.
Is the sport in good hands? Because we're obviously transitioning. Is it in good hands?
I'm scared.
On the collegiate level and professional level.
I'm scared because I hear people talk about, like, for example, getting into the kind of summer basketball coaching now. I'm hearing, the class of 2023 is supposed to be really, really good. Well, guess what? I couldn't tell you who's in it. and it's not like I keep up with it as much, but nothing's came across my timeline where I'm just like, ooh.
He can go.
Yes. I found out about one kid. I said, that guy's a legit lottery pick. That's the guy that reminds me of what a Jason Tatum is now, what a Kevin Durant, what we thought about him.
Yeah.
So some kid named Chris Livingston. I couldn't tell you where he's from. I just know he's 6'7", and he's a lottery pick. That's it. That's all I know. I'm scared. I hope our generation isn't so social media influenced that basketball for them is about fame and clout and buying clothes and looking like this versus playing the game and leaving a legacy for yourself and being iconic.
Yeah.
I hope the rest of because to me, the NFL, we're in great hands.
Yeah.
Athletes are coming out of the wazoo. So there is somewhere out there the next Julio Jones. There is the next Megatron. There is that next great quarterback. Different style.
But you saying that, I feel like that speaks to the mindset. Because you got people like T. Hill who doesn't even acknowledge his contract. He just goes out there and plays. Hill. For Chiefs.
Oh, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean.
Because he loves the game.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the mindset is changing, and it's going to...
Yeah, like a Patrick Mahomes, I don't
game.
think him signing $450 million isn't going to change who Patrick Mahomes is.
Right.
We're still going to get the same. Whether he wins 5 or 6 Super Bowls, I still think we're going to get another 5 to 6 years of greatness.
Yeah.
No matter what. I can't say that for the NBA. And yeah. I hope baseball and some of the other sports are the same.
For sure.
But that was our take on just future of sports, where it's heading, where it's going. Come back and see us for more content-related episodes. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you follow your boy on the gram, B_great, KAE.
Follow your boy, witness your moment, you are.
Make sure you get at that Instagram and that Twitter.
_.
Website.
www.seethefloorpodcast.com.
Yep. Until next time, y'all. We out.
See life like you see the floor.